Good morning, it's Bev at Planetcrochet. What I'm going to do today is show you basics on what you will need when you want to start crocheting. I've had this idea for a while, but I've just not got around to doing it. Life being busy, I've started doing market stalls, so I'm trying to replenish for that. So behind the scenes I'm making some blankets. It's come up to autumn here in the UK, so I've started doing some beanies and some little bonnets. Anyway, that being said, I've set my stall out on my right to show you some basics, what you'll need for crocheting. Now, before I start and do that, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. If this is a video that you've just come across, welcome, and please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That does help me a lot. Now, when I started 9 years ago in February, I think it's just gone 9 years, yes, 9 years. I had no idea. I have nobody in the family that crochet. They were all knitters. That's 3 that were knitters in my family. My mother-in-law, she does crochet, but I didn't actually sit down with her and ask what do I need. So I went on YouTube. This is why I did my channel originally, to give back to where I found my inspiration. And so I just went out and bought some metal hooks and a ball of yarn. I didn't realise that you'll need quality as opposed to quantity. And I found it really frustrating. So I went back outside to a shop. And I had something like a thread. And I found that easier. So I got the basics, and this is where I am 9 years later. But as I've gone along, I've learnt my lesson on buying some supplies. Don't buy cheap. But then I've moved on with my hooks, and there's some hooks I just cannot get along with, and they're so pretty, some of the hooks, but my hands, I have arthritis, so I've found a hook that is suitable for me. It's not suitable for all. But anyway, so enough from me. I'm going to show you what I've got. And if there's anything additionally, let me know in the comments. If there's things that I didn't think I needed that, let me know also. It's nice to hear from people. I've had some comments on some of my videos that I'd forgotten I'd done the videos, but it's so nice to hear from people. And especially when they're positive, asking me questions. I don't class myself as a professional at all or a teacher, but what I like to do is give back from where I learnt. And this is what I'm doing on YouTube. Anyway, enough from me, and I'll show you now the basics that you will need. You'll definitely need for crocheting, but some additional things that you may think later on I may need it. And it doesn't take up much space either. Let's get in the video. There you go. Apart from the obvious furniture, that's what you'll need for your crochet journey. Not everything there you see you will need to start. I didn't have half of this. I didn't realise I needed stitch markers. I just went and bought yarn from a local post office, a hook, which I've still got, and scissors. Obviously you've got them in their house. Most people have them in their houses. Anyway, you will definitely need a set amount of certain things before you start. Before I start, I am not sponsored in any way by anyone when I mention a name. So to start, you want a yarn. I recommend a good quality one, not particularly this one. This is a project I'm on with. I'm doing a lady's beanie. Hooks, a tin or a pencil case to keep your bits and bobs in. Scissors, brand new. Treat yourself to some nice quality ones, sharp. Don't let anybody else use them. Darning needle, good quality again. Don't buy cheap. They kind of bend when you're pushing them through a project, as I found out. Hooks. One book. Definitely start with a book with a pen, just to write in what you're doing. This is obviously a mine that I've had collected for years. Optional. A tub will do, and you don't have to separate them like I've done. And then what I wish I'd bought when I started is a trolley. You can buy 2 tier, I believe. So I'll start with the trolley. This is IKEA. This little front tub is Hobbycraft. You can get that online, or I went to the store. I'm in the UK. This is definitely IKEA, and I bought this in store. I presume you can do online. I know that they do have IKEA in other parts of the world, but in the UK we have one in, where was it I got this from? Huddersfield near Leeds. And I know there's one in Sheffield because I passed it a while ago. There's a bag of yarn. I'll tell you about that later. And I usually put this back there. The trolley gets pushed back. This is my creation station. This is where I do my crafting and usually my designing. That's what the books are for. Now the hooks. These are clover hooks. I've got a few. Started with one. Number 4. That's my most popular size I use. So I started with that, tried it out. But before I did that one, I used these ones. Let me show you. I used just regular metal ones. I can't remember the company. I think I've still got it, the original one. That was 9 years ago. I didn't know any different. But there are so many hooks. You can buy hooks. The metal part here, and then the shaft that you hold is clay or other stuff. I don't know, actually, I haven't looked into what they make them from, but people design them, put all sorts of prettiness on. You can have animal ones. It's absolutely tons, absolutely loads of hooks. You have to look on Amazon, and then or just put hooks in Google and off you go. But I personally, I've got on with clover because the arthritis in my hand. As you can see, the knobble's on my index finger. I don't know when I bought my clovers, but definitely I would recommend clover if you have arthritis. But try out to start with, just buy some cheapies, Amazon, or sometimes local stores might sell them that sells other haberdashery. Just have a good look around, try one out. If you get on with it, that's fine. And then, like I did, I just built up one by one my stash of hooks. Yarn, buy quality when you start out, don't buy cheap. I bought cheap and then had to literally go back out within an hour and buy some thread, kind of type style yarn from the same shop I usually buy things from if I can. It's called Boyes, B-O-Y-E-S. It's a Yorkshire shop in the UK. And got my stitches down, and then in 2 weeks I learnt to read patterns, and off I went. And that was 9 years ago. Now, stitch markers, invaluable. As it says, stitch marker. So you mark a certain place in your project, and that might be saying tens or something like that, or you're counting a very long chain and you want to put every 50. They're absolutely brilliant. Also, a highly recommended thing you can do. I will know which is the right side and wrong side to this project. It's pretty obvious. It's a beanie. But if you're doing a blanket and you're not sure, stitch marker in the front, just somewhere at the front. And then you'll not go wrong then. You know which is your front and which is your back, wrong side and right side. This is my stash. I've had a lot of this for years. My button stash. As you can see, I don't have a lot of red. But I try to stick to certain buttons for baby cardigans and things like that. I like these. I bought these as a pack of different sizes. I don't use many beads, but have them in as not. Hobbycraft again. These sometimes on Amazon. These ones on Etsy. If you go on Etsy, just put wooden buttons, put whatever pattern you want. I've got dinosaurs in there and all sorts. Toggles are good for baby cardigans. You can never have enough buttons, I think. Like I say, stitch markers, they don't just come in blue. That's my favourite colour. They come in multicolours. My local post office sells these, probably in pack of 6. Again, I don't know the company name, but buy quality. otherwise they permanently break here, as I found out. I've got vegan tags that I put on my stuff. I made something for a little shop in Robin Hood's Bay. They've got my projects in there, you know, my they've got a keyring in there that I made, I designed myself. I have different vegan tags that I put on my projects. These ones I've got my name on. Yeah, so that's just an optional thing, but most houses have buttons of some sort. But if you're doing cardigans, go out and purchase purposely for that cardigan, especially if it's a baby one, because you want certain size as well. But that's basically what you need. Now, an optional thing again, but I definitely recommend, is a book of some sort. I'll just put my camera down. It is an option, but I highly recommend. You can go online if you want, Amazon. Lots of people have designed books for this reason, knitting and crochet. I have designed one myself. I need to go and fish that one out and see if I need to tweak it. Anyway, you can go to a shop called, this is in the UK, Home Bargains, B&M. There's 2 of them. And you can get these pucker pads. I've bought others before, and these have a divider in between, like this big one, but I've pulled them out of this one because I've finished using it. And from here, I've used this big one because I wanted a big one to put other ideas in. So it's up to you, buy the small or the large, but definitely, and a pen. Highly recommend. If you haven't got a lot of money, just head over to one of those shops, or again, look online and buy a little book like this. You don't have to have these in, but it's a good idea. So mine have got different wording on the front. That's what I'm doing at the minute, what I did in here. So that's what I do daily. And how I did it was, let me just show you a page. And this is what I do now. So yeah, there you go. That's just an example. So what you've done is, it's a keyring. Now, ideally I should have put what shape it was, you know, the pattern of it. Because I designed a caravan, you know, keyring myself. It might be that. I haven't even put the date on. So I put yarn. Now I don't put the colour underneath. I put the yarn, what I'm using, and then in, and I put the colour, and usually the code on the band of the yarn. Then I definitely put hook. So it's yarn, hook, size. This is what I've redone since in this one. Size. So if you're doing a baby beanie, first size, third, second size. Even if you're doing a pattern from somebody else, that's what I do. And also what I do now is I will put the amount of chains I'm doing as well. Because sometimes you look at a pattern and you think, oh, which size did I use? So I kind of give myself 2 reminders. So whichever size, first size, so on, and then what chain I used. And then time is, I usually put the date. That's what I mean by the time. Another thing I put on, if I'm using a pom-pom or not, or a tag or not. Buttons, how many, describe the buttons. Because obviously it depends what title you use as what you're going to write. But you definitely need your yarn and your hook, at least those 2 things. When I've done, I will give it a tick. But definitely, if you want to do crochet, buy quality straight off. The hooks, the metal ones, as I've showed you, they are quality, they do work, but because of my arthritis, I had to switch up after a couple of years. I can't recommend a trolley enough. It's great. Keeps all your bits and bobs neat, saying that. I've got yarn over there. Finished projects over there. Those are my key rings for my stall. But as a general rule, I try and keep it tidy so it still looks like a home and not a craft house. Anyway, that's it from me, Bev at Planet Crochet. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you want to know anything else, head over to my Instagram at Planetcrochet. I'll leave a link for that below, and we can chat there as well. Next video will be about yarns, the weights, textures, hook recommendations and things like that. I don't know how long. I'm planning on doing this for a few weeks, doing things that I have learned as I've gone along, my mistakes and the positives. There is a few negatives, but then you correct that and then they turn into positives. I've got nothing negative to say about crochet. Maybe one thing, the cost. Because if you want to see my yarn stash, just leave a little comment below and I will show you what I've got. And there's something to draw behind me as well. It's not that I hide it. Andrew, my husband, knows about it. It's just, as a crocheter, and I think knitters are the same, I was given something, 2 carriers there. That little orange bag there's got cotton in because I just did. And that is the only downside, I would say, is yarn buying. Because once you've got your hooks, you're set for life. And once you've finished your book, you will need a new one. But again, buy quality and they last. I've had the needle for a long time. That's why I get upset if I lose it. Right, that's me done. And I will catch you again next week. But thank you for watching. And thank you for subscribing if you've come back. If you're new, please consider subscribing and pressing the notification bell. That really helps. And I'll catch you soon on another video. Bye for now.